time is it? Better get up and grind.
I woke up, soaked from a bad dream. I've been sweating like crazy. Got up, skin stuck to the veggies. Open window for a cold breeze. I have nothing to eat in my kitchen. Old coffee and yesterday's pizza. Listen, I promised to clean my floor, but I have no interest to fulfill my chores today. As long as the sun is shining and the weather is showing its face, just like me, it's been hiding. People painting the world with its rays. So I skip on my obligations, like so many times before. Reach for the door out to reclaim my faith in the making. God, I am here for the taking. Oh, it's a matter of opinion if I'm right, but I'm leaving off for now to go outside, putting chores and obligations on a pile. See them towering over me, nowhere to hide.
Yo, I had it with this shit, man. Yo, I gave it all I got, but it seems like it's not enough. Now I'm sitting there watching all these bills piling up like, damn, I need a change for the better. Scratch that, I need a change for the cheddar. Gotta get up, 9 to 5, have a regular life. With the knowledge knowing that I'm not a regular guy. See, I'll be more than me's a regular. I like optimist rhyme with my spectacular mind. Composing these delicate rhymes, but I'ma design a different future for me. I had a good run with it, but it just ain't what it used to be. And truthfully, I trust nobody in this industry. They only come around when they want something like a fucking leash. But I'm cool, mama didn't raise no fools, so I'ma do what I do and chunk up the dues. And I'll be back in the booth when the stars align. But meanwhile,
it's a matter of opinion if I'm right, but I'm leaving off for now to go outside, putting chores and obligations on a pile. See them towering over me, nowhere to hide. It's a matter of opinion if I'm right, but I'm leaving off for now to go outside, putting chores and obligations on a pile. See them towering over me, nowhere to hide. It's a matter of opinion if I'm right, but I'm leaving off for now to go outside, putting chores and obligations on a pile. See them towering over me, nowhere to hide.
What is going on, everybody? Welcome to another episode of Matter of Opinion. We are definitely live doing it. We're live on Facebook, YouTube, on Matter of Opinion channel, and the Strategic Eyes channel. So another collaboration.
Yes, we are.
Now we have another guest, but right now they have internet issues, so they'll. All right,
Yeah, they'll
so,
jump. Oh, there she is.
so she's back in, lady. All right. So today, of course, you got me, Walls P. Of course, you got my partner.
Ray the Dawn, you already know.
Yep. All right, and we got our lovely guests who everybody know who be in the comment section and everything.
Be lighting up.
Cherry, aka T Sizzle.
What's going on, everybody?
We also got Lady M, who was also in a previous video that we did talking about relationships and everything. And you want to say what's up to everybody, Lady M?
Oh, she might have been froze. She might have froze.
Oh, she froze again.
Technical difficulties. And of course, we got Mr. Captain America himself, the
Ah!
Strategic Eye Show.
What's up? What's up?
Yeah, hey, you got to be Captain America. You saving lives daily, man, protecting and serving. So, yes, sir.
Yeah.
Modern
Appreciate you,
day
man.
Captain America, definitely,
Much
definitely.
appreciated.
Definitely. Now, for those who are tuning in, definitely check out, Strategic Eye Show. That's, one of the channels I follow. Great dude. The content that he present, oh man, like trust me, you'll definitely be educated on the topics, the subject matters that he speak about, whatever. And this is an individual who will dissect something. I mean, you could think you have a whole argument and he'll just dissect it. You like, damn, that's strategic, man.
Appreciate you, man. Thank you
Yeah.
so much.
Now, Tia, I know you definitely just signed up, just subscribed to Strategic Eyes channel. So you want to give a breakdown on what you think on his channel and everything?
Absolutely. Well, between Matter of Opinion, Strategic Eyes, and Candace Owens, those are the only ones I follow on locals. And I may incriminate myself, but even when I'm at work, if I see like, oh, Strategic Eyes about to go on live, let me put my earbuds in real quick. So, I can work and listen at the same time. But no, you're absolutely right. Even with, the case recently with the young lady from, what was it, American Idol that had the kids taken away, you gave a different take that, I thought about, because I'm like, there's more to the story. But when you really broke it down, I was like, I knew I was right. So yeah, you definitely give a different way of knowing and breaking down the information, as well as P mentioned. So I'm a fan. I'm hooked. Love the show.
Appreciate you. Thank you to you.
Definitely. And well, once again, I gotta say thank you to everybody, for helping us cross that 4,000 subscribers mark. And definitely Strategic, you right there about to cross that 4,000 mark also, man. So
Yeah, man. I'm looking forward to it, buddy.
I know that's right. Now I know that's right. But like, yo, big things, man. We definitely on the come up. Definitely on the come up.
Big things are going.
Yeah, big things are one. Big things are one. All right, so you know what the show is about, the ABBA and Preach versus Fresh and Fit. And then the second topic, of course, is should women work in law enforcement, mainly like in the front lines, like in the military, and being an officer. So we're gonna start with the hot topic of the day, which is the ABBA and Preach situation. So pretty much with the ABBA and Preach situation, ABBA and Preach, they did a show with Fresh and Fit, and Fresh and Fit was basically talking about how if you pay for the P, then you're not respected or whatever. So later on, ABBA and Preach, basically did a reaction video to the things that they were saying or whatever. So Fresh and Fit caught wind of it and they clapped back. But when they clapped back, they actually was attacking their character, talking about his wife, his country, my home country, which is Haiti, just basically attacking them personally. So ABBA and Preach clapped back, exposed them that they're frauds, that the things that they were saying that that they don't condone, they actually were doing. And they had proof, the receipts and everything like that. Then it wind up to them, wanting to fight and setting up a boxing event and everything like that. That's just the gist of pretty much everything that went down or whatever, just to catch everybody up to speed or whatever. But with that being said, I would like to know, what is you guys' take as far as like, who do you think was in the right? Who do you think was in the wrong? Do you think they went too far? Like, what is your breakdown on the subject, and which one of y'all would like to go first on it?
You know what? First of all, I'm gonna say shout out to all my Haitians. Ça passe.
Not boule.
I think they definitely took it a step too far. Came for the Haitian people as a whole, and then when he brought in his wife, though, you don't talk about nobody's wife, man. I don't care how much beef you got, bro. If the beef is between you and me, keep it between you and me. You don't bring no kids and no wife in the picture, man. I feel like he crossed that boundary that YouTubers shouldn't cross. You know what I'm saying? And he got called. They got called out for it, and they was a no show. My man's literally got on the You seen the I don't know if you seen, everybody probably here has seen the other the reaction video where he got on the video and he was like, "I'll be in the States next week. Like,
Yep.
what's up?"
Yeah. All right, let me take this because I want to give a different take on things because the way I seen it, man, I kind of saw it as Abba and Preach like provoke the bear. Like to me, I feel like they started it and it was pretty much unnecessary. I'm gonna put it like this: those who didn't like check the other videos, whatever that me and Strategic had made in the past or whatever, the way me and Strategic had actually like connected was it was a little slight misunderstanding between Ray and Strategic in the comment section on the video or whatever. Long story short, everything was PC, everything was all good or whatever. Me and Strategic wind up doing a collaboration. So now I'm gonna put it in this frame like this. So now me and you, Strategic, we got it out that we buried the hatch, everything is cool. Because when you looked at Abba and Preach video, he did say when he was on their show, he questioned them about something that they had said about him. And they pretty much buried the hatch or whatever. They were stuttering and everything like that, but at the end of the day, they kind of buried the hatch. So me and you, Strategic, we do a show or whatever, connect. Yeah, we're not best buds or whatever, but we did a show, respectfully, we connect and everything, and we like, yo, everything is good, everything's PC, whatever. Months go down the road, I make a video basically attacking everything that you said. And while I'm doing it, I'm kind of like throwing smart remarks here and there. Because when I was looking at that video that they made, they was making like some smart remarks as far as what they were saying towards Fresh and Fit.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I'm saying? So I'm like, you kind of poke the bear, especially this is something that happened 4 months ago. To me, I understand Abba and Preach, they do videos like on many different topics, but to me, it came off as you was like kind of clout chasing the way Fresh and Fit said, because it's like, yo, we did this 4 months ago. Now, if that was being used, Strategic, in your mind, you probably would have been like, bro, you could have at least had the common decency to be like, yo, if you don't agree with me, let's talk about it on a show or something like that. Set something up. But don't just come out and just make a show coming off attacking me and abrasive with some of your responses or whatever. Like, a person would take it personal. So, yes, they poked the bear. With that being said, their clapback was still wrong.
Mm-hmm.
But I feel like Abba and Preach, they basically like brought unneeded, unnecessary drama. So
well, let me jump in here. Because I got a different take. I agree with you. I think that they did put Fresh and Fit's name in their mouth.
Yeah.
But that's where we diverge, because if we're talking about YouTube, we're YouTubers in the core of it, we're entertainers. Even though I talk about law enforcement stuff, I talk about people dying, I talk about race relations and stuff like that. You talk about everything, which is awesome. You know what I'm saying? It's still entertainment. There's some people who listen to us for knowledge. There's some people who just listen to us to help the time go by while they're exercising or working. You don't return back by talking about a country where people keep dying from natural disasters and is in current political turmoil where people are dying from hunger, etc. You don't clap back by talking about a man's wife. You don't clap back personal the way they did. So if you're going to clap back, keep it entertainment. Talk about their show. Say, well, you know what? You're talking about how we were hypocrites, because they did call them out for being hypocrites.
Yeah, definitely.
So you hit them back on how they're being hypocrites or they're doing something wrong on their show that you don't agree with. They came at you in a juvenile, petty way. And I only say that considering the fact that what you explained is that they had this conversation, they went through this. They basically disrespected Abba and Preach. They said that they're blue pill, whatever. I'm not involved in all that red pill, blue pill stuff. This is like a millennial thing.
Mm-hmm.
But basically, by calling somebody a blue pill, you're basically calling them a cuck. You're calling them a weak man. You're calling them, a dimwit. You're calling them a guy that that's disrespectful. And then but they did address it on the show. But I think the clapback far exceeded anything that Abba and Preach did. And then before I pass it off to one of these young ladies, because I'd love to hear what they have to say about it. Mm-hmm. The worst part is that they put checks that they wasn't willing to cash.
I agree,
They said they're
100%.
gonna
Yeah.
F you up, they're gonna do this, that, and the third. And the moment Abba and Preach said, "All right, what's good?" It's over.
Exactly.
We're sorry.
Yeah, exactly.
And let it be known they offered him $20K just to show up.
Yeah.
$20K
But
just
they
to
tried
show
to
up
make
to
it
this
into
fight.
an opportunity to make money. They're like, oh, you know, that's a little bit of money. Let's make it a real event and all this stuff. And it's like, you disrespected my family, bro. I'm not fighting you because I want to make money on YouTube. I want to kill you. That's basically what
Yeah,
Preach
pretty
is
much.
saying.
And you know, and pretty much the way it was Abba and Preach called them out so much that they had like nothing that they could say back. That's what they like. That's the only thing they could have like said or whatever to clap back. You know what I'm saying? But yeah, I agree with you 100%. They did definitely take it way too far
Well,
or
hold on.
whatever.
Let me add one
But
more
like,
thing. One more
yeah,
thing, and then I'm gonna shut my mouth.
uh,
If you had information that I wasn't really a cop and that everything I was saying on my channel was false, and I was misleading the people on my credentials, misleading the people on my take and everything, and now you have to call into question everything I've ever said on my channel, would you have the respect for me to want to talk this out on the side? And or if you're a comedian, which is what Abba and Preach are, would you crack jokes? I mean, I think that by having the information they had that these guys were hypocrites and they were actually out there paying for poon and all that stuff,
yeah,
I think at that point they were like, all right, the gloves are off. These dudes are fakes. They were frauds. They're Derek Jackson Juniors. You know, screw it. You know, that's my take on it.
me personally, if that was the case, like this is just the way I am.
Mm-hmm.
If I did a show with you or something like that, or had some type of connection with you, out of respect, I'm the type that I'm gonna pull you to the side and be like, yo, you know what they saying was XYZ, right? And this ain't true. Now, I will tell you ahead of time, like, yo, I'm coming out with this stuff, whatever. So how you want to handle it, figure out your exit. But at least I'll come to you first before I go out to the media out of respect for you.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? 'Cause I'm like, at the end of the day, I don't know if this is what you're doing to feed mouths. I don't know if there's you got, you get what I'm saying, like your breadwinner to feed your kids, whatever the case, pay your mortgage. I don't know that. So as a man, I'm gonna come to you and let you know straight up, like this is what's gonna happen. But I'm not just gonna blindside you, like, oh, I'm kind of strategic. Y'all like, yo, I don't operate that way.
But
That's
technically,
just-
they didn't. Technically, they didn't. They just made, you know, the show making snide remarks. They didn't come back with the juice until after these guys disrespected their families and disrespected their country.
On the stuff like after that happened, then yeah, all bets are off. All bets are off. But like the way I would have came at it with Abba and Preach is, I would have been like, I would have set it up where it's like, yo, the last video we did, I think you was capping, yo, we need to retake it because I need to call you on your BS or you get what I'm saying? Something like that. That's Now, if you reject my invite, then I'm like, yo, I'm gonna have to, you know, handle it and come out with a video saying, yo, I disagree with you. Even put it like this, even when you drop a video and like I disagree with it, what do I say in the comments? I'm like, yo, I disagree with it. I got a video coming. Something along them lines. You get what I'm saying? It's a respect thing. Because I don't want it to come off as, yo, I'm coming for you, whatever. You know what I mean? Even though I told you, yo, if you disagree with something I say, come at me. Like, you know what I mean? Because it's going to make me make my quality, my content that much better where I get my facts straight, do that or whatever, this, that, and the third. So I gave you the straight up go, like, yo, if you see I'm off, come at me, whatever. So I bet you got that green light or whatever. But I don't know. For me, it's I built my friendships pretty much on respect. I take that very seriously. What is your take on it, Tia, the Abba and Preach situation?
Maybe I'm looking at it completely different because you know I think differently, as your viewers get at me in the comment section. But personally, I feel like if I don't have to eat with you or sleep with you, I'm not going to let anything that you say affect me personally. So like, for example, when we did the Kevin Samuels video, I know someone put in the comments like, oh, I feel sorry for her son based on the comments. Or, you know, even recently when I, you know, I was having a back and forth banter with one of your subscribers. I mean, at the end of the day, we peached it up. We virtually hugged it out. But that's because I'm not going to take anything personally that anyone has to say online. And I mean, she was coming from my jugular. She was like, "Oh, you are uneducated. You don't have kids." And I'm thinking to myself, like, as I'm a doctoral candidate with my son sitting next to me. Okay. But I didn't take it personally, because for me, it's like, again, unless you sign my checks, it really doesn't matter to me what you have to say. So again, I understand I'm in a completely different industry and this is their bread and butter and all these other things, but I'm not going to take these things personally. Like, they didn't lose viewers, subscribers.
Oh, they lost subscribers. Fresh and Priest lost like 15.
No, but I'm talking about ABBA and
okay,
Preach. Like, they didn't lose. If anything, they gained subscribers. But for me, I'm not going to take anything personally that you say. Like, I'm in the industry where, you get critiqued all the time. Like, I have, from parents who look at me like I'm a student, and it's like, oh yeah, I want the assistant director. And it's like, hi, that's me. Like, you get so many comments, you get so many things said about you, especially when people don't get their way. It's almost like, if it doesn't apply, let it fly. So for me, because that's why I had sent you a message earlier, and I'm like, okay, I'm confused. How did this start again? Like, first of all, no one knows, to my knowledge, no one really knows his wife. That's why he assumed what his wife looked like and went in, which to me, I'm like, okay, well, it's not like they put a picture up of your wife and were saying, hey, this is where she works, and, you guys need to get at her. And then on top of that, it's like, okay, yes, he talked about his, he talked about Haiti, which is bad, yes. But at the same time, it's like, when you get into this industry, that's pretty much, par for the course. Like, it's going to happen. Like, look at Whitney Houston. She's been gone for how many years? And recently an artist was in the news because when she was on Wildin' Out, she made a comment about her being dead. Mm-hmm. Or people still make comments about her being on drugs. Like, it's par for the course. So it's kind of like, I'm not saying it's right. Let me just say that before your viewers come at me. But I'm just saying that it comes with the territory. So again, if I don't eat with you or sleep with you, I don't care what you have to say about me. Just make sure my checks are signed at the end of the day or deposited, and I'm good. That's just me.
Marilyn, you want to take on it? Because I know you don't know much about the situation or whatever, but
right.
From what you hear, what do you think or whatever? Or do you have a take? I mean, you could say I'll pass if you want, but
I pass on this one.
All right. Okay. So let me ask you this now, Tia. If it even I hear you say if somebody say something, if I don't sleep with you, whatever, it doesn't bother me or whatever. Mm-hmm. But if the person is saying something that can probably hurt your bottom line, so to speak, do you feel that then you'll have to clap back? Adam? It
depends on what they have to say, because if it's something that can affect my employment or future employment or anything like that, that's what lawyers are for. Or that's what the court system is for. Like, I handle things a lot differently because I have a lot to lose. So for me, I'm not going to do the back and forth, like, not unless it's respectfully. You know what I mean? Because even with the subscriber, like I was saying earlier, we were going back and forth. She's like, you're unintelligent, this and that. And I'm like, man, I never disrespected you. We can have a conversation to understand each other, but the disrespect and all this other stuff, I'm not going to do, especially because I respect your platform and I would never disrespect you. So for me, it's a little different. So that's why I'm just like, hey, if it's that serious, like I said, let me lawyer up, because I'm pretty sure everyone has a lawyer in their back pocket, and we could take it to, we could do it legally. But I'm not going to go back and forth, because here's the other thing. Even if what they're saying, when you say something about me, right? Let's just say, you're on a whole different platform and you're coming at me. If I feed into what you're saying, or now I'm going back and forth and this and that, it kind of looks like, well, low key, what you're saying is right. Or what about if even after this beef is over, because this is recorded, people can later play this and say, oh, look at that girl. You want to hire her to be at your school, or you wanted to, like, I'm sorry, I have an image to protect, and I'm always going to put that first and foremost with anything.
So in other words, you're pretty much saying that, what's the name? Fret and Fish is pretty much did themselves a disservice.
Absolutely, because like I said, they lost subscribers. Yeah. And even when, what was it, Ab, I think when he went on their show and he did confront them about something, but I don't know which one it was, Fresh or Fit, but, he was stuttering a bit. It was like, I don't remember. So it's kind of like, it's par for the course. Like, this is entertainment at the end of the day. And I understand, again, this is people's bread and butter. They take this thing very seriously. But again, if it's not affecting me in a way where I can't protect myself legally, okay, that's different. But even then, I'm not going to say to you, hey, we could take this to the streets, or hey, we could do to me, it's not that serious. I'm sorry.
So check this out. Here's a question I have for you guys. All right, so strategic.
What's up?
If Fresh and Fit came at you like that, how would you have handled it?
First of all, I'm being attacked by a moth over here. Other than that,
That's their sidekick right there.
It's like that moth is like, yo, you didn't respond quick enough to my 911 call, buddy.
Yo, he's on Fresh and Fit payroll because I've been getting at them all day. You know, I'm loving Tia's answer. You know, like the way that she answered the question is like what I want for Black people. That's like the whole purpose of my channel. Like, stop acting outside of the law. Start using the law to your advantage. Use lawyers. Like, oh my God, Tia, I got a few homies for you. You know, they got pensions. But you know, like I really wouldn't. I really don't want to get involved in YouTube beef.
Yeah.
I probably would have ignored them. The funny thing is, just like Tia said,
so that means I gotta delete that video I made about you.
Drop it, man. Go ahead, man. You know, but I tell you what, if I respond, I'm gonna try. I'm definitely gonna respond respectfully. I'm not gonna, say screw your family.
I know you. You're the type that you'll disrespect a person in a way where you're saying F you, but it sounds like you're saying hi, how are you doing?
Yeah.
But so these guys would have ignored Abba and Preach, this would be a non-issue, because I have a feeling that a lot of their supporters are guys that have low self-esteem or definitely lacking a lot. You know, that's why they're looking for validation and advice and community by listening to these guys. If you listen to their content, it's very immature, it's very unrealistic. You know, the way that they, they bring these Insta thoughts onto their show. These women aren't even really beautiful women. These are insecure women themselves. They got like 10 layers of wig. Like, we have beautiful women on the panel now. You know, they may have a little eyeliner, but they're human beings. Like, they bring people on that have masks on and push-up bras, and then they proceed to have these very two-dimensional conversations that ends in disrespect and ends in these guys dominating those females to prove that they're alpha males. I personally think, based off of the information that Abba and Preach released, that these ladies might very well be on payroll.
Yeah,
they might just be acting off of a script.
That's true. Yeah.
You know, these guys are making a lot of money and say, hey, listen, you come on, I give you $1,000 or $500, and this is how you act, this is what you do, and you perpetuate the mythos of our show. But
you know what too? Like, because I watched a couple of their episodes and I was like, yeah, this ain't for me. When you look at the women that are on there, they just act weird.
Yeah.
You get what I'm saying? Like,
they're not flowing natural.
Yeah, it's like, these chicks are definitely from another planet, yo.
These guys are not alpha males, and I don't like using that term because, like I told you, that's some millennial stuff. You just be a person. You know what I'm saying? Because you could be a timid guy and you run a Fortune 500 company, and who's more alpha than you? You got all the money. You got the power.
Absolutely.
You know, and homie Tyrone in the hood that think he's an alpha male, he has no power. You know, he has power over the people close next to him, you know? But anyway, you're right. These guys are excellent at marketing, and they're excellent at actually putting on the show. These guys are artists. You look at their studio, you look at their setup, you look at their marketing, you look at the women they choose to put on and the topics that they choose to cover. These guys are looking at analytics, they're looking at their demographic, they're looking at all of the numbers, and they're basically tailoring their show to their audience. I believe that it's all fake.
It's entertainment, man.
Yeah, it's entertainment.
And notice too, like when they was trying to give their clap back, their whole clap back was on the premises of numbers.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So that's why I agree with what you're saying. Yeah, everything they
we
said
have
was
400,000 subscribers.
Yeah,
We have 20
yeah.
million. You're like, he was really going to analytics. And the
Yeah,
truth of the
yeah.
matter is, if you are the man that you claim to be, there's no reason you would need to go on secret arrangements. Period.
That's true.
You have the platform, you have the money, you live in the city.
Yeah.
They will flock to you just off of your aura, but you don't have that aura because what you're perpetuating is false. It's fake. It's just
Exactly.
a fraud.
Yep. All right. So, number one, let me let everybody know that if you want to call in or anything like that, let me put the number in. If you want to call in or be a part of the show, definitely hit up the number, the phone number. Call in the phone number or email, and we'll send you the link. So
You know what I'm really surprised about though.
What's
What's
that?
that?
I'm surprised YouTube ain't hit him for bringing the Haitian
YouTube's not
people.
going to hit them because they're making them money. When you're making them money, you get away with a lot of stuff.
Now, if it was your channel, they would have.
Yeah. We had said something about the Haitian people. Strike
Oh,
right there.
Absolutely.
Yo,
You would have been suspended for a week.
Prestige, I finally know what you're experiencing with the videos on your channel.
What's happening?
I went to upload a video, right? And I promise you, I said nothing to promote violence or whatever. Because the video was basically about the dude that groped the girl in NY, and when he went to hit her,
she knocked him out.
Pretty much knocked her out, whatever.
Yeah.
Well, the backstory, the new story now is that your man, people put hands on him and knocked him out, and now he's pretty much arrested or whatever. So I made a video basically speaking on that, whatever. Yo, they made it. You got to be 18 years old. I'm like, yo, they locked it down, and I didn't even put nothing malicious, whatever. I mean, through the video, I said probably like, yo, man, if you put your hands on a woman, whatever, you deserve to get what's coming to you, because nobody should put their hands on somebody, especially in a sexual manner, and it's unwanted. So she pretty much had the right to retaliate in a sense. You know what I'm saying? And I didn't say nothing malicious, whatever the case may be. Flag. I'm like, yo, I know what Strategic is going through, yo. Like, yo, I know exactly what you're going through. I feel the pain, man. I feel the pain.
Yeah, most of all my content is limited or is ineligible for monetization. That's why the memberships is so important to my channel, because the only way I'll generate revenue. But I'll appeal it, and a lot of the times they will grant my appeal. They'll say, yo, we manually reviewed it, and it's now suitable for all advertisers. The problem is, as you guys know, I'm a growing channel, just like you guys are. You get your peak in the beginning, where most of your subscribers are going to watch your stuff. You know, you're going to get into the search list. By the time they get a human being to review your video, one of like a million views, you make like 3 cents. Yeah, because your peak is already gone. You know?
Yeah, that's a fact.
So you got a video with 2,000-3,000 views, and you only made 30 cents off of it, because by the time they approved it, only 5 people was watching that video.
Yeah.
So
I just want to comment. I just want to comment on something that Black Sheepdog said, and I'm gonna definitely shout out everybody that's in the room or whatever. But Black Sheepdog said someone probably reported you at. Nah, they didn't, because whenever I upload a video, I make it unlisted or private until it go through the monetization process. That's what I do, and that's why sometimes, like when news is fresh off press, that alone sometimes hold me up. Where sometimes I'm like, you know what, I just got to take that L and push it out there. Or when it's going through the process for them to review it, I just push the content out there. And like Strategic said, your peak is that first 24 to 48 hours. And then after that, it's like, unless it's a hot topic or something like this Abba and Preach thing, it might go on for a couple of days or whatever, or something like that. So you may could catch the back end, but you still losing out.
Yeah,
you're still losing out.
YouTube, we out.
Yeah. All right, so let's give a roll call. We got Erica Brown in the building. We got Aki. What's up, Aki? We got, let's see, who else we got?
Hey, Tony.
Miss Mary. Of course, Black Sheepdog Kiki 05 is in the building.
Twin Sisters.
Yep. So yeah, we got a decent crowd tonight. All right, so yeah, I know Lady Emmett that has no idea about this ABBA and Preach and Fresh thing.
I'm listening.
Yeah, so let's move on to the next topic of the day, which is should women work in law enforcement or the military, specifically in the front lines? So
Um,
let me go first on this matter because
Okay.
me personally, I feel that women shouldn't work the front lines in the military and law enforcement, and it's not because they can't
Sexist.
or sexist or anything. Yeah, you know that thing, oh, that got a matter of opinion. What? Nah, it's not because they can't. I believe a woman can do it, but the reason why I feel a woman shouldn't is because when you're in the front lines or whatever, you're putting yourself in harm or whatever. And when I look at it, especially like in a two family home or whatever, in a two parent home, in my opinion, like say if a robber or something came and was like, yo, one of you gotta die, whatever. It's either you or the mother of your child or whatever. Me, I see it as I would probably be the one to go because I see it as for women, like when it comes to the love of a child, I think the unconditional love of a woman is stronger than that of a man because they have a stronger connection to that child because they carry them for for the 9 months and everything like that. So being the fact that your life, I see it as is being precious and valuable to that child, whatever. I don't feel like you should put yourself in that position to lose your life and everything like that. Now, if it's you talking desk work and stuff like that, that I can agree with. But the front lines, that I wouldn't agree with the front lines, so to speak, for that reason. Because especially I know when it comes to the Caribbean household or whatever, what if it comes to a child is acting up and like you have no control over them, the father is always like, yo, kick them out the house. The mother is the last one to be like, yo, I don't like to be okay to actually kick
That's
their
100%
or
facts.
their
That's
son
100%
out of
facts.
the house or whatever. So that's why I'm like that mother's unconditional love. I see that as something that I wouldn't want to see jeopardized when it comes to children in a household or whatever. So who
You
wants to
know,
take the floor to say?
I partly agree with you in terms of, with them having to go out and face danger. But at the same time, I gotta disagree
Okay.
simply because I've seen a lot of highly trained female cops.
Mhm.
I'm gonna give a shout out, Miss McLean. You know I'm talking about you. I seen you the other day. So I seen female cops take down 3, 4, 5 guys by themselves. You know what I'm saying?
Mhm.
So it's I gotta say if they're trained to a certain level of degree of training, they can do the job and without having to worry about too much of the risk because they have the training.
You want to take it, Tia?
For me, I fully believe in the women empowerment. Women can do anything that they put their mind to.
Oh wait,
The,
hold up! Before you continue that thought, it's
yes.
nothing more sexy than women in uniform. Let me put that. Let me say that right now. Nothing more sexy than women in uniform.
All right, let's hear your take, Tia.
So for me, like I said, I believe women can do whatever it is they put their mind to. The thing that I'm concerned about, I'm not gonna lie, I do, fear for their safety a little bit more than I would a man, primarily because I feel like they're probably gonna get tested more. And also like the abuse that goes on, like just things like that I'm worried about. Like, I feel like with like I had a friend that worked in corrections, and it was very brief, for maybe like a year. And she said that, when she was there, the inmates would make comments to them as opposed to the men. They were more likely, of course, sexual comments. They were more likely, different things like that, depending on their culture. She was there around the time, I don't know if you remember when MS-13, had executed those what was it,
Young
Yeah.
kids.
those young
Yeah.
kids around that school.
That was a wild.
And because of their culture, they machismo, all of that, they looked at her like, oh, you're a woman, why are you here? you should be doing it, so that's the thing that I'm more so worried about, like just their safety and them being tested more. And I'm not saying they can't handle themselves, I'm not saying that at all, but that is something that I'm concerned about.
You want to go, Lady M? We'll let Strategic go last since he's the professional on the subject. Let's hear your take, Lady M.
When you say frontline, then I think of it from a different perspective. Definitely, women should be in law enforcement. Everyone is used in different ways, but today we are living in a different world. So it depends on the woman, because you have some women out there that can take, like what Ray said, about 4 or 5 guys at the same time.
Sure can.
So it really depends on that woman. I mean, there's some women that's built like a man, and they could be on front line, and they would probably go harder than a man. That's just my opinion.
So. All right, let's hear your take on this, Strategic.
All right. So I kind of agree and disagree, and my disagreement to me is a practical disagreement. So as far as law enforcement, I just 100% believe that women should be police officers. Female police officers don't get tested as much as female correction officers. As you guys know, I used to be a correction officer as well. But it's a different atmosphere. These guys are locked up. They don't have any outlet for their sexual energy, and so they're projecting on a female officer. But on the outside, Joe Schmo walking down the street is not testing a female officer, because now he can get arrested for disorderly conduct. You get a fat ticket,
wow.
And then male officers will pounce on them too. So you don't ever really see. I've never really seen a male sexually harassing a female police officer on the street. What I have seen is many instances where female officers are able to de-escalate where male officers can't. I have seen that a lot of cultures view will make the male, will look down on a male who hits a female officer. So where that guy is ready to fight male officers, when female officers come on the scene, he's now like, you know what? I'd rather you just take me in peacefully, because I don't want to be a party to hitting a woman, because that'd make him less of a man. So there's so many uses for female officers in them just doing the job regular, not in any special position in the back end or whatever, just letting them do the job equally as men. When it comes to the military, I think women should do whatever they want in the military as well. But I disagree in that I feel that warfare is different. There's no rules. And if a woman is captured, her experience is going to be much different than a male who's captured. They're going to use whatever means they can use to violate her. And that could be very creative, considering how a woman is built. That's my fear. That's my personal fear. I don't think my personal fear should stop any woman out there who's saying, I want to serve on the front lines. I would, if I was in power, I would not allow my personal fear to stop that woman from achieving her dreams. But that's what I think about in the military. That would never really happen, or it'd be hard pressed for it to happen on the streets. And like you guys have said, and it's now a majority of us who are saying it, a lot of female cops can give it just as good as they can get it. I will say this one last thing. Better. Yeah, I will say this one last thing before somebody else jumps in. You can't match big city cops with small town cops or state cops.
That's
because
true.
Big city cops, they need just raw numbers. Like you look at Chicago PD, LAPD, NYPD, they have tens of thousands of police officers. So you're going to get that overweight female cop, that overweight male cop that you're like, should they be on the force? Because they need numbers. They need bodies on the street. But when you look at like these small towns that are very competitive to get into, state trooper, like I live in New York State, so state troopers, all of the female cops in those jurisdictions are like warriors. I've never seen a female state trooper that I think I could take. Because it's a more competitive job, and it's more and the standards to get it are much higher than if you wanted to join the local PD that has, or the NYPD or the Jersey PD, the PD that has like tens of thousands of officers. And I name those two departments because they're in our tri-state area. So I hope that makes sense to you guys.
Yeah, nah, I get that 100%. Like,
Yeah.
I don't downplay that women can't do the job or whatever. Like, I don't downplay that whatsoever. But for me, it's like I said. For me, it's more of the safety thing where it's like, yo, if I'm looking at a family and somebody put a gun to my head and was like, yo, one of these people got to go. You got to execute one of these people, the mother or the father. I'm looking at it as the mother would be more detrimental to that child than the father would or whatever. And
I
I
think
mean,
it's an antiquated way of thinking, though. You know, I mean, we're both parents, and we're going to look at things
it
differently,
is.
culturally as well.
I mean, and that's not necessarily true.
I don't. Yeah.
Because sometimes kids will have a stronger bond with their dads more than the moms.
Yeah, that's the point I was going to make. Like, I love my children just as much as the mother.
No, I get that 100%, but it's just from the standpoint that women, we value that women are more precious than men. You know what I'm saying? That's how society views things. Women are more precious than men.
Listen, I'm a feminist, and I don't agree with your patriotic or whatever view of men and women dynamics. Okay.
Look, what is it called? Matter of. I'm just
let me ask you this: if it's the same type of love, let's say you and your significant other, you know, y'all had a baby, the woman miscarried, you know, for a man, how would you take that? Like, let's say the woman, the kid actually was on this earth. They gave birth to the child. If that child then died probably about 2 months later, the woman will take it way harder because from a man's perspective, just in my opinion, they may say we can make another one. But a woman, she's carried that child all that time, you know, and she's built a bond. She actually know that child in and out. I'm not saying that.
I think the fallacies you say from a man's perspective, you can't say from a man's perspective.
Yeah,
you know what I
put
mean?
it like this.
But I think we have different love.
I can speak from my experience or whatever, because I had a situation where, you know, a baby was supposed to be due, but it was complications and everything like that. So if the baby would have been born, you would be looking at thousands and thousands of dollars for medical expenses, whatever, because the baby was that undeveloped. So it came to a decision to just get the abortion, whatever, because it would be much easier on that child instead of being bored or whatever. Because you're talking right off the rip, you're going to be in a wheelchair, whatever. The spine was underdeveloped, all this stuff or whatever. She took it hard. I took it, you know, slightly hard, but I was like, I didn't have no real connection, you know, because I wasn't the one carrying the baby and everything like that. So women take that stuff much harder than men do. I get it. Men can have the same level of love, whatever, you know, stuff like that or whatever. But I strongly feel women have a more stronger connection because you literally carry that child or whatever. Like, I don't know. That's how.
I don't know. I personally feel like it depends on the person and how you're raised. Because I've seen, like, even recently, I saw something on Instagram where this woman detailed her journey of them trying to have children, you know, miscarried or, you know, whatever the case may be. And then finally, when she told her husband that, you know, she was pregnant, she did it in a creative way. He bawled, like he was crying, like he was, you know, uber excited. And again, I feel like it depends on the person and how you are. Because, you know, there's some, and no offense to anyone, but there are some men who aren't in touch with their feelings and don't express themselves. And maybe they weren't raised to express themselves. So, you know, and not saying you're that person, but I'm just saying, like, there are some men who are in touch with their feelings, and it's okay to express themselves. And yes, men, it's okay to cry. It's okay to do all of those things. So I think it depends on the person. But yeah, I even know of someone, you know, who wants to have children, knocking on 40, and, you know, he hasn't been fortunate enough with a relationship and all that other stuff. So I don't know. I look at it a little differently. I feel like there are some men out there, you know, who would take it just as hard, you know, in terms of if something happened.
I'm sorry. I wasn't laughing at what you were saying. I was laughing at what Sheepdog said. He was like, "Shut up, right here. Let my kid talk."
Please excuse my moderator. He insults me as well. Okay.
Yeah. Black Sheepdog has absolutely.
Nah, I know it's all love and jokes.
Yeah, he has.
But you know
has
what?
no
You know what?
good.
Honestly, I think a man would feel it more if it was a boy child.
You think so?
I think so personally, bro. I think a man would feel it a lot more if it was a boy child, just because that's like your next, your legacy. I mean, not to say that a female child isn't your legacy, but a female child won't carry your last name unless she chooses to keep it when she gets married. You get what I'm saying? Whereas with a male child, even if he gets married to a woman, and she'll carry his last name. It's just the way the system works.
I think men, we have a stronger connection to the daughter than the boys, yo.
I don't know, man.
That
I
that
don't know.
that that they didn't coin the phrase "daddy's little girl" for no reason.
No. That's that phrase exists for a reason, but I think it's the pure fact of the bloodline, and then there's certain things that you will understand more with your son than you will with your daughter. Because it's certain times you know this personally, bro, where your daughter will come up to you and she will say random things, and you just be like, "What?"
All right, so okay, we all know that the word is you're supposed to love all your children equally.
Equally, yeah, of course, of course.
To be honest with you, I'm sorry, I don't believe that you can love.
I think you
Everybody
can, man.
has
I
that
love
one
my
kid
kids
that you
equally.
just
Hold
want
up, hold up, hold up. I hope the kids not watching this.
I love. Don't get me wrong. I love my kids, but the one of them is easier to deal with the other one, and you're like, yo, it's not like, like I don't know. I think that everybody has like their personal favorite when it. Yeah, you love them all equally, but everybody has that favorite. I will say so to speak.
Yeah, I'll give you that.
That's what I'll say.
I'll
All
give
right,
you that.
so I guess in a nutshell or whatever, y'all feel as though as far as parents go, they both love the kids equally. You don't think a woman's love is more or greater than a man, so to speak, when it comes to their children.
I think
I,
they're
I'm
different.
I think it's a different
Yeah.
type of love,
Mm.
and it's a matter of perspective from each parent. You get what I'm saying?
Mm.
That's true. That's true. Hold on. Let's go through the comment section because I'm
Let's
funny.
go.
Yeah, some of them jokes is funny as hell. Let me see. Yo, that shut up, Ray, and let Tina talk. Vic's in the building. What's up, Vic? What am I missing? Yeah, you missed a lot, man. You missed a lot. All right, so let's see. Kiki said, I personally think that women should be in top positions in the military. We are much more diabolical, strategic thinkers. I can agree
You
with
know
that.
what? You
Yo,
know
I
what?
can
I can't
agree with
even
that,
disagree
yo.
with that. I cannot even disagree with that. That is 100% facts.
Yo, you know what? Like, all right, when it comes to like your household, whatever, if you have a woman, she knows like she pretty much knows your schedule. When you get up, how you like your food ready, your coffee, whatever the case may be. If a woman is diabolical, they could take you out like easily.
They got about like 7, 8 chances before you even get out
Yo,
that bed.
you get what I'm saying? Yo, a woman's mind can be dangerous, man. Like
Yeah,
as far as
man.
being strategic to take you out. So I could agree with that, Kiki. That's a good point.
It is.
That's a good point. All right, so let's see. Men's bloodline. Let me see. Kiki. Miles Avoid.
Oh yeah, Kiki said earlier, all her mom needed was a pair of some flip flops to solve any situation. No, got this.
All right, so let me see. Yeah, Kiki said my girls are definitely daddy's girl, but that's because they are more like me than I want to admit. Yeah, I really think that the girls as they get older, they get more attachment to the dad than the mother.
Well, I mean that's because as a father you're gonna spoil your little girls, but I'm saying it's a certain connection you're gonna have more with your son.
Mm,
Let's think about it this way: like when your female child is going through her first period and everything, you're not gonna want to deal with that. That's gonna be left to the mom. They're gonna have that special connection. Like when
It's
your
not
son,
really true. Like I'm just bucking
you,
everything you guys are saying.
I'm just,
It's not my
I'm,
reality.
Yeah. All right.
Yeah.
So
all right.
what's
Well, certain
what's
men's
your
realities are
reality? So
different,
what's
but
your
I'm just,
reality? Because I want to hear this. What's
No,
your
my
reality?
yeah.
reality is I first of all I love all my kids equally. It may not be possible, but I seem to be working it out. When it comes to my daughters, like especially my oldest, we all have an amazing relationship. They'll say, "Hey, Dad, I ran out of pads. Can you go buy me some pads?" Okay, which one you want? The one with the wings? Like it's like, I'm just not bound by these classic tropes of what men should have to deal with versus a female. Of course, mommy is probably the one. I definitely, because I certainly didn't do it. That taught her how to use her pads. But why should
Right.
I be ashamed to talk to my daughter if she needs me to go buy her some, or if she says, "Hey, I'm not feeling too well because I'm on my period"? Why is that such like an icky thing?
No, I'm not. I'm not saying that's icky. I'm not saying
Well,
that's
that's
icky.
how a
But
lot of guys. You didn't say it, but a lot of guys think that way. It's like, oh,
yeah.
that's mommy's realm. It's like,
But
no,
what
it's.
up? Like, let me give a better example. Like
Mhm,
prime example, right? Like your daughter later on when she
mhm,
starts, she
mhm,
wants to talk about dating dudes or
mhm,
whatever. Are you
mhm.
gonna be comfortable with that?
Absolutely, that is the most important time of my life. That is the purpose of my existence. To
Right,
give her
right. But
all the
but
knowledge
but
I can give her so she don't be
oh,
a victim to the game. So that she don't bring
I
home no fit and fresh dudes.
shots
I
fired.
know that's right.
But what I'm saying though is
Mhm,
is certain things that she will tell you
mhm,
as being her father, and she'll come to you for certain advice, and then
mhm.
certain things that her mother would be able to teach her and tell her. You get what I'm saying?
Well, I can't
Yeah.
disagree with that. I mean, I think
You know
that's
what I'm saying?
natural. That's just
That's
human
it's
nature.
and
Hmm.
between a woman and a female child, they're
Hmm.
gonna have a stronger bond when it comes to certain teachings and certain things.
Hmm.
You get what I'm saying? That's where I'm coming from.
Hmm.
Versus like if you had your son, you're gonna teach your son about condoms. You're gonna teach your son about being safe out there. The first thing you want to see if your son can play sports. Come on, everybody knows this. That's the first thing you test out. It's like, is my son athletic?
That's not necessarily true. That's not
I,
necessarily true because
I,
you got some parents who look at it as, "Yo, I want your brain in the books. I could
no,
like,
no, no, no.
make
But
you
I'm saying once you've established your son in the books, and
yeah,
your son has had good grades, but you want them to do an extracurricular activity after school, right? The first thing you do, you don't even look for like a poetry club or anything like that. You look for a sport for them to try to get the light. Correct me if I'm wrong.
yeah,
See,
sure.
and that's 100% male thinking. That's just in our DNA.
See, I just straight up look at it like this. I understand, like, okay, even if you have the process that you can't really dictate who love more, the father or the mother, they're on equal playing fields. The
Yeah,
bottom line is a woman's nature is to nurture.
that is true.
A
That is
father's
true.
job is to provide, make sure a home is taken care of, and everything like that. You get what I'm
You
saying?
you
A
know what?
woman's
You
the
know what?
church.
I gotta add one more thing into that. A father's job is to prepare their child.
Oh
You
yeah,
know,
definitely,
you know what I'm
definitely,
saying?
definitely.
To prepare
But
them.
guess what? Like if you lose your life now, like you sacrifice yourself so that she could find a new man and be happy.
But at the end of the day, though, you know, I'm in heaven and I'm making sure, at least I know my child has a good example raising them or whatever. Because I'm
Yeah.
pretty sure, my woman, she wouldn't have made a mistake choosing the next guy or whatever.
All right, so we need to hear the ladies' point of view because we've been like dominating this conversation here. So we need
Yeah.
to we need to get some women voices on the matter. So who want to go first?
Go ahead, Lady F. You've been quiet.
No, I spoke.
I think we intimidated them fellas.
No,
Maybe
not
they
at
shouldn't work on
all.
the front
No,
lines.
Yeah.
no, not at all.
This is your audition to show y'all frontline material. So let's go.
Right, right. You know what I'm saying?
All right, so
Yeah.
what's the question? Because you
All right,
guys trailed
so
off a bit.
as far
They
as
went
like
everywhere.
Yes.
as far as well, that's how conversations go. It is what it is. As far as love for a child, whatever, do you feel that a mother's love for a child is greater than that of a father's? love for a child?
I don't think so. I think stereotypically that's what people think, but I don't think that's the case.
And why
To
is
me.
that?
I just, again, I feel like it's a stereotype because I mean, even when you look at the news or even in stories that you hear, you know, there are a lot of women out there. Like, did you see the report recently of the woman who stuffed her like 5-year-old son in the trunk? You know, or if you hear about, you know, people, you know, woman leaving her kid in the car, or that, like, you hear about these stories often. Or the young woman, I think she was from New York, where she had threw her kids out the window or something like that because she claimed that she was depressed, or she, you know, something. You always hear these stories.
But
And
check this out though. On the
yeah,
flip side, I could say you always hear fathers, like for instance, the father leaving his kids in the house with a dog, and the dog mauled the little boy, or
That
the
is true.
father
yeah, but
the father having a licensed gun and leaving it in the kid's reach where the kid get the gun and wind up killing somebody accidentally. So men have that lack of responsibility as well too.
yeah, but see, okay, with the incident with the dog, that was something that happened recently,
No, but
right?
I'm just saying.
But with the
What
thing,
I'm just saying is there's instances that happens with men too. It's just since a lot of times women are the ones that have the kids, than a man having sole custody of a kid, you're going to hear more stories about women doing these things than men.
I
I
mean,
don't know. Do y'all agree or
I,
what?
I think it's a healthy balance. You have to have in everything is feminine and masculine energy. So
mhm.
if a female is gonna get some advice from her father that she probably couldn't get from her mother because that's a woman. They don't know how men think, you know, and vice versa for the son. You know, if I was very protective of my little brothers. I'll be he'll bring a female home, and I'm like, that's not the one for you. You know, you in the military, you doing this. She just want a baby. She trying to trap you. You know, this something along those lines. I mean, but you get an equal. You need both parts. Even if somebody doesn't have a father, there's still a male role model somewhere in their life. So I believe both sides is needed.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I definitely agree with you. And I mean, you know, even with the example that you gave of, okay, a father leaving a gun or something like that, I mean, that's not him directly, like, yes, he's putting the child in harm's way, but that's not him directly harming the child. A lot of reports that I've seen in Strategic, correct me if I'm wrong, because I know you see it firsthand, but a lot of reports that I see and I read, it's, you know, the mom who's putting, or a female that's putting, excuse me, a woman, not a female. It's a woman that's, you know, putting a child in danger. Like, there was a report I read recently, you know, I saw it on Instagram, where there was a woman who left her 2 kids with her sister, and she ended up killing the children. You know, like, I mean, you hear it often. You do hear it more often than you do hear about a man.
Yeah, a lot of child abuse is inflicted from the mother, believe it or not. Like a lot
Yeah.
of domestic violence is the man assaulting the woman. Of course, it has been proven that domestic violence is underreported when a woman abuses a man, and I've gone to a
Absolutely.
lot of cases. Also, another one that's underreported is LGBTQ domestic violence
Oh,
Oh
yeah.
cases.
yeah, that
But
is yeah.
but certainly, you know, but I don't think that it's because women are more prone to abusing their children. I think it's probably because they spend more time with the kids based on how our society is organized.
Mhm.
But before I give it up, big shout out to Neil Wallace. He's in the chat. He's one of my Strategic Eyes brother in arms members. He's the
Nice,
man, man. I
nice,
appreciate. I gotta shout you out. Thank you,
nice,
Neil, for
nice,
coming through.
You
nice
know
to have
what?
you, Neil Wallace. Nice
You
to
know
have you.
what?
Appreciate it.
I just gotta address something. Sheepdog, what you just said. My parents told me they found me by the dumpster and the dog brought me home. So I say neither parent likes children.
Right.
See,
There he
Ray
goes.
is new. Ray is new to sheepdog. Black
I'm gonna shout out
sheepdog. Yeah.
Sheepdog every time right now. 'Cause
You gotta
You know what I
ignore
would
him,
love
man.
to see? You know what I would love to see, Strategic? I
Mhm.
would love to see a live or a video with Black Sheepdog and Vic 76.
Yo, that
It's
would be
not
so
gonna
Yo,
lit.
happen. I've been trying to get Sheepdog on the show for a million years, but he's shy. He's very shy. He's afraid of the
yo,
spotlight. He just likes trolling in
yo.
the darkness.
Vic and Black Sheep, y'all need to get together and start a podcast or something, bro. Because yo, the jokes and everything would be like, I'll pay to see that content, yo.
Mm.
Definitely, definitely. All right, so Yeah, man, the whole law enforcement thing or whatever. Look,
Mm.
the thing that you said that stood out to me was that in small towns, whatever, it's a different means because it's more harder to get into and everything like that. But yo, real talk, if you told me that my sister or whatever was going to get an opportunity to be in law enforcement and she was going to work in Chicago, I'll be like, nah, I'm good, Joe. Nah, I'm good.
I would tell to my male relatives as well. I don't know why
Yeah,
anybody, I know why, because they need jobs.
yeah, that's true.
So
That's
and
true.
that's and first of all, they get paid a decent amount of money. Chicago PD actually gets compensated decently, and then of course
Okay.
the benefits are going to take it over the top. Period.
Mm.
You're going to have great health insurance,
Yeah,
great
but
retirement,
I
but
I
it's
would
it's it's a war zone out there.
yeah.
All
It's a
right.
war zone
It's
So here's
it's like people dying every day out there in
every
Chicago.
day.
It is. There were 2 young
Yeah,
kids that were just recently shot, and I believe one of the
yeah,
sisters passed away.
yeah.
Other
I
one
did a
clinging
video
for her
on that.
life.
Yeah,
yeah.
Mm.
Strategic. I got a question for you, right? If you got offered a job where they'll, I say, triple your salary, right?
Mm-hmm.
And your significant other, they said like she had a good banging job that doubled her salary, whatever, but
Mm-hmm.
y'all had to go to Chicago and work there. Would you do it?
Nah, because money isn't everything. You got to think about your kids. Chicago has
That's
terrible
true.
schools.
That's true.
You're not telling me that we're losing everything that we currently have and just
Mhm.
and gaining that. You're just saying we're upgrading. We don't need to upgrade that far up. If it means that we have to live in Chicago. Now, if you're telling me we get to live next to Obama, you know,
Yeah.
and because he's got his little spot out in Chicago, and they're gonna go to the private school, and the
Well, nah,
whole
that's the thing. You
the
don't
whole
have to
block
live
has a
in
gate.
you don't
Has
have to live in Chicago.
Mhm.
You'll just be working in Chicago. You can live in the outskirts or whatever. You could
No,
live,
no,
Yeah, but
I
then he
wouldn't
got
do
to
it.
deal with that Chicago traffic.
yeah,
Yeah, but
yeah,
you could die just going to work.
yeah,
That is a
Yeah.
fact. That
It's
is a fact.
war zone. Like I've been doing videos on Chicago. I'm gonna start doing more videos on Chicago. They're getting like over 500 shootings a
Mm.
month.
yes,
That's
yes,
crazy.
And it's not being reported when people get wounded. It's only being reported when people die.
Yep.
And then it's just a blip unless it's a little kid. And the little kids are being 235 kids were shot for this year so far, and
yes,
33 of them are
yes.
dead. That's terrible.
And wasn't it like 55 just this past weekend or something like
Yeah,
that?
and
People
that's
were
it.
shot and
Every
injured.
weekend it's like 55, 60 people who are
Mm.
shot. It's over 500 people. It's ridiculous. And
Mhm.
police officers are getting shot like crazy as well, but they're not reporting it. Like 2 officers in New York City got shot, but he got shot in his buttocks.
Mm.
So nobody reports it. Like these are very dangerous jobs. And it's very upsetting to me when you're talking about, I don't want to go in another direction, but you got strategic on the show. I got to say it. It's very
Yeah,
upsetting to me when you say you want to defund the police in a place like Chicago when people like it's hunting season for black people in
Yep.
Chicago. And you want to say you want to defund the police. It's just crazy. It's insane. To me, that's racist. Because the only people who are going to hurt and suffer are the minority, low income people in that city who are going to lose protection and lose services because some activist wants to prove a point. It's
Absolutely.
unfortunate.
great.
And I don't understand why it's not reported or there's more talked about, the whole black on black crime thing. And I know a lot, and again, your subscribers probably gonna come for me for this, but it's like it's always something when it comes to, the police, like you said, defunding the police and all that other stuff. But it's like when it comes to black on black crime, people always get offended when that's like the rebuttal of the police shootings, like, oh, they always talk about black on black crime, and it's like, yeah, well, we need to talk about black on black crime. Like, what are we going to do about this? We have this no snitching policy. We have, like you said, we're losing so many of our children. So many kids aren't graduating at the same rate of high school like they used to. Like, we need to talk about it. And they're making everything about race. And I'm sorry, maybe it's my ignorance, but I don't feel like everything is race. There's so many things within our community that we need to take care of and to take accountability for, so that way we can better ourselves. Like I saw a report recently, where I believe, was it the Hispanic and Asian American population is starting to outnumber us. We're being outpaced with so many different things. And it's like, come on, when are we going to wake up? When are we going to, get it together?
It's a cultural thing, and I spoke about that on my channel. That my fear is that we're going to become marginalized. We're going to marginalize ourselves because all these immigrants are coming in, and they're literally sacrificing their life for their future generations.
Yeah.
They're like, I'm coming here. I'm going to work 3 jobs in 3 different kitchens, washing dishes, so that my son and daughter can be the doctors of tomorrow. We're here trying to focus on ourselves when these other folks are literally sacrificing their lives for their children, and it's paying off. And we're still trying to figure out our place in this society and this culture. We're still pointing fingers here and there, not realizing it's a cultural problem. I work in an affluent area. Unfortunately, a lot of crime comes to it because it's affluent. The robbers, what are going to rob in the hood? No, you come rob the rich folk. I solved 3 robberies. 3. I mean, listen, I've gotten. I can't say the type of awards I got because then it'll give away where I'm at. You know what I'm saying? But I've gotten tons of accolades. Like, I'm trying to ride this wave. Hopefully, it might give me my shield or something. I'd be a detective. But the reason why me and my partner, and I want to just say because it's my partner, he plays an equal role in this. He's a good guy. The reason why we're able to solve 3 robberies in a week, that's big, is because we work in a community where when we walk around and say, you have cameras? Yeah, I got cameras. You know, I think I see something. Hey, give me this. We go here. You see this person? Yeah. It's that kid comes to this park every single day. They're willing to talk and cooperate because they're not beholden by these cultural negative tropes like no snitching. To them, it's like, no, you do a crime, it's an affront to our society. We need to do everything we can to assist in removing you so that we can feel safe. Only in the Black community is it okay to have a murderer and a rapist come open the door next to yours and go home and sleep every single day, and you not say that he's a murderer and rapist because you don't want to snitch.
And you know what kills me is these people are law-abiding citizens and not living a crime-filled life, but yet you're living by street code. That doesn't compute.
Nope. And
you know
the thugs laugh at them because the thugs say, you're a civilian. You shouldn't live by our code, but they're going to benefit from it.
Even the thugs will straight up tell you, yo, if you go tell the cops, that's not snitching. Me living the street life, if I go say whatever, that people don't even realize what the term snitching is. The term snitching basically is if you get in a pinch, whatever, and they say they're going to reduce your time or your sentencing, whatever, if you out somebody, that's the actual definition of snitching. That's in the crime world lore. But as a law-abiding citizen, that's not snitching. That's cleaning up your community. That's making sure that bad people stay out of there. You get what I'm saying? That's detecting bad behavior and getting it out of there, filtering it out. So that's why I don't understand this process.
But in a lot of communities, the reason they don't talk a lot of the times is because they fear retaliation. Because you got to think about it this way, you could go to the cops, you could snitch and be like, hey, Cortez is the one that pulled the trigger last week. You know what I'm saying? They lock up Cortez, but then he get out word to his boys. Now his boys are looking for you.
But you know what? I got something for you. And I got this from watching the Strategic Eye show. You got a hotline where you could call anonymously, not give your name or anything. And
that is true.
That hotline been around for decades. You call it up. They'll give you a 6-8 digit code. You simply say, Johnny Boy is the one who's here. There, you give them a tip, a lead. And then when Johnny Boy gets arrested, you call them back, you give them your code, and then they'll send you a check, and they don't know who you are. They still don't use it.
Yep.
Even when all we're asking for is, where is this person? And this person is next door to you. And you can collect $10,000 and still be anonymous. You know what I mean?
Yep. So it's no excuses. It's no excuses whatsoever.
But you know what? The biggest snitches though are the drug dealers.
That's a fact.
He's selling drugs.
Drug dealers will snitch on other drug dealers. That's a fact. That is a fact, bro.
You know the biggest snitch on gang members. But the gang members are snitches. They snitch on she's a Latin king. I don't owe him no allegiance.
I don't care what thug is in here. Gangbangers snitch on other gangbangers. That is a fact.
So here's a
Ridiculous.
question. Here's a question for you. I know strategic. This don't apply to you or whatever. But as far as Ray, Lady M, and T Sizzle, have any of y'all snitched before? We'll use the regular term of snitch before on somebody.
No.
I'm trying to think. No, I never had to.
Right. Yeah.
Yeah, I never been in that position. I did want to point out something that Strategic said when he mentioned about, how you have certain cultures where they'll come here and they'll do whatever they need to do so they can put their kids through, school so they can become doctors and everything. And again, I know I'm probably going to get heat for this. Like every time I promote higher education, people come at my jugular like, oh, that's not the end all be all and all this, that, and that. And it's like, okay, but you fail to realize that a lot of the issues that we face in our community is because of the fact that we're not in some of these positions where unfortunately you have to have degrees for. So like, Black women are more likely, to suffer from a miscarriage, or even the healthcare industry, to this day, there's some, nurses and doctors who will ignore your calls if you say you're in pain because they always felt like Black people had a higher tolerance of pain. Or, even with what we're going through right now with people getting the vaccine or not getting the vaccine, it's because of the fact that we've had bad experiences, with experiments and also with, different things that have gone on. And my issue is always, okay, well, I hear what everyone is saying, but if we go to school and we get those degrees so that way we can open up those centers, we can be the doctor servicing our people. We can do all these things. We can change the trajectory of, our future children's lives. But a lot of people, it's like, they don't want to hear that. They don't want to do that. But yet, they're quick.
Going back to what you just said with the vaccine, I'm sorry, I didn't mean to cut you off.
No, it's
but just
fine.
to jump in, a lot of townships started offering like free food and stuff. And,
oh, yeah, gift cards.
Yeah,
lottery,
I'm like,
all of
just
that
to
stuff.
get the vaccine. Like, yo.
We got to be a little careful.
Definitely
when
try and
talk
tone down with the V word because YouTube is very sensitive talking.
Right.
And it's streaming on my channel too.
Yeah, so definitely just say V or use code or whatever.
Isn't it just sad though? I mean, seriously, that we can't even have adult conversation about these things without fear of retaliation from this conglomerate. It's horrible.
What happens is things that are true, y'all get low viewers. Things that are fake and fraudulent, they get the most. People
and ratchet
on negativity right now. Yeah. It's a shame.
All right, so I'm gonna dive over. I mean, we already went in left field or whatever, but do y'all want to tackle the conversation of how everything nowadays you got to be so politically correct?
Oh, absolutely.
Yeah,
and I see it definitely, even in my industry, like we have this thing now, and it depends on where you're at. They call it cultural responsive teaching. Some people call it decolonizing the curriculum, whatever you want to call it, to try to be very PC, to try and incorporate different things. And it's to the point now where, and not just about race either, also about gender, and sometimes I have to catch myself also, because if I walk into a room and I'm like, oh, hey guys, and it's like, well, wait a minute, even if they look like a guy, they don't identify as a male. You have to address them as this. You can't say, you have to use pronouns now. You have to, so everything has changed to the point now where it's almost like you don't really want to say anything, because even if to you it's harmless, it's like, like I remember I had a secretary where, she had a hard time remembering names. So she would always say stuff like, oh, sweetie, come here. Or, hey, sweetheart, you can't do that stuff. Like it's certain things now that you can't do that was the norm before. But yeah, I definitely see it in my industry. And I guess you guys are experiencing it as well on your channel.
Yeah, even with YouTube, like they censor certain things when it comes to LGBT community and mentioning other races and stuff.
See, for me, the issue I have with everybody having to be so PC and everything like that is it's like now everybody has to basically think the same and accept every little thing, everything. You get what I'm saying? And if you don't, they look to want to cancel you, so to speak.
Yeah.
And that's why, like, when I hear like they have tape recordings of people behind closed doors, like saying how they really feel and stuff like that, I don't get mad at it because of course, behind closed doors, that's when you can be yourself and speak your mind or whatever.
Absolutely.
And just because they're speaking their mind on a subject, it doesn't mean that they're racist or a bigot or whatever the case may be. You just actually get to be yourself, whatever. It's kind of like, okay, if I was to say, um, Tia, I don't like the way your hair look, people will take it as, oh, you don't like women, so to speak. So look to cancel, yo, unsubscribe from his channel. So then you gotta walk back. Nah, I wasn't saying I wouldn't like the hair, yada yada. So it's like you gotta think how everybody else think, whatever, and not really voice your true opinion. So the way I see it, we're basically walking around with a whole bunch of people that are basically fake at the end of the day. You get what I'm saying? And the problem that I have is that PC culture is now trending into politics also.
Yes.
You know what I'm saying? Where now now laws and stuff are being passed based on being PC.
Yeah.
You get what I'm saying? Like I said, the video that I got, I'm working on, whatever, where you got people who identify themselves as transgender. In California, they passed a law where if you identify as transgender, you can be transferred to a women prison. And now these transgender women are impregnating, inmates.
Yeah.
Why was that policy put into place? Because you got to be politically correct with the whole transgender, acronym and everything like that. So now with these lawmakers, whatever, they got to be PC and push it through. And then the crazy part is, like, when it comes to how do you address it, oh, we just gonna hand out condoms. Do you know what I'm saying? So, yo, the PC culture, man, is affecting a lot of things where if you want to say how you really feel, and just because the way you really feel does not make you a racist or label you as whatever, people want to cancel you.
Yeah, I definitely don't agree with the. I'm sorry, you can go ahead.
No, I was just gonna say, like, I'm very open when it comes to that stuff. I like to respect people. When I look at the LGBT kind of fight, I kind of look at it synonymous with fight of African Americans. It's a time that we were told we couldn't marry certain people, limitations like that. But I always ask the question in every topic, like, when is enough enough? Like we have to call people they. What is they? Like, I don't understand that. I would love for somebody to actually sit me down and explain to me some of these things. It's like it's becoming too much.
Yeah.
Where it starts being a burden on the person who may have good intentions to not offend somebody. Like, even good intentioned people can offend someone. And to me, when you get to that point, you're doing too much. Like, at what point does it become a mental illness? I don't believe it's a mental illness to be gay or lesbian or trans. But if you don't identify with any gender, can you explain to me how that works?
Yes.
What is the science on that? I know this dangerous territory I'm talking about, because they like
definitely.
to pounce. Listen, like I said, my track record will prove it. People who know me, I'm all for the LGBTQ community, all for it. Because bigotry is bigotry. But at some point, I need to understand why and what you want me to do, and what's the basis in it. Or are we just doing to please people?
Exactly.
Are we just doing just so we don't make people upset? Because is there even something as having an all-inclusive society? Is that even possible? I don't think it is.
See, the reason why I made the dynamic I did as far as, like, the whole trans, like, being put into women prisons is because, think about it. Let's just say, for the sake of argument, I say to myself, you know what? I want to become a bank robber. So what's stopping me from going to California, being a bank robber? And for me, my exit strategy, so to speak, is, yo, if I get caught in a pinch, whatever, I'll just go through not even a sex change, because you don't got to get reconstructive surgery. You just get some boobs or whatever, identify yourself as a woman, and now if I wind up getting caught, whatever, guess what? I'm going to be put in a jail with women, and now I can wind up raping these women. You know what I'm saying? So that's the dynamic I'm putting it, where it's like, yo, with the PC culture, you're employing different laws, whatever. I get it, to employ laws for equality for everybody, but do it in a strategic way. If you're going to employ that law, make sure if you're going to identify as a woman, then go fully with it. If you want to be sent to this new prison, whatever, then you must get the reconstructive surgery or whatever the case may be. So it's like, at what point do being PC and inviting laws into it, do people get left out and people can wind up being hurt, so to speak? But at the end of the day, like I said, yes, I'm all for equality, but at what cost is the equality?
Yeah. No, but you know what it is nowadays though? It's all politics, man.
Yeah.
These politicians they count on the LGBT community votes. You get what I'm saying? So that's why they pass these laws so they'd be able to use the votes to stay in power. That's just
No,
the fact
I get it. I
that's
get
just the
it
fact of the matter,
100%.
man.
I get it 100%. But I'm just like, yo, man, what happened to the time where you could like really say how you feel? And it's like, it is what it is. People ain't gonna take it as
personal, yeah.
As personal, or try and make it something more than what it is.
Mm-hmm.
You get what I'm saying? So I don't know.
Yeah, it's very interesting. I wanted to touch on something Strategic said about, like you said about how they identify and everything, because maybe about 20 years ago, which is a long time ago, but not really, the DSM categorized it as a mental illness if you identified yourself as, being a homosexual. So, and even now, it's always the debate of, are you born gay, or do you, is it nature versus nurture, that sort of thing. So I think that's what the big issue is. And, look at how we had all the conversion therapies, and, we actually have some that are still operating. And, so it's a big debate that goes on. And, the other thing I wanted to say also was, I don't agree with cancel culture. I feel like things can be a teachable moment. I don't think that we always have to automatically say, okay, this person says something I didn't like, or even if it is outrageous, I feel like everything can be a teachable moment, because the thing we have to understand is everyone wasn't raised the same, So, I mean, for me, I feel like it could be something where it's like, okay, let me have a conversation with this person and let them know how, like, for example, I had a situation where I was working at a job, and the gentleman that I was working with, he was Asian American, and I was talking to my Caucasian coworker, and I hope I'm saying the right terms. But I was talking to my Caucasian, you gotta be careful. I was talking to my Caucasian coworker, and we were talking about planning, the office holiday party. I'm really big on that. I'm extra. So we're talking about it, and he just walks on in the office, and he just stops and he listens in, and he's like, "Ooh, Tia, you gonna bring mac and cheese?" And I froze, because I'm like, I don't even really care for mac and cheese. Like, like it was, but it was one of those things where it was like, I could have easily have, said something then and there. I could have reacted, without thinking, but I waited, and I said, no, I'm not going to do that. I'll probably bring something else. And I said, I don't even really care for it like that. And, I laughed it off, but later on I did pull him to the side when he was in his office to say, hey, I just wanted to let you know, when you made this comment, this is how it made me feel. Even if that wasn't your intention, you just want to be a little careful with, what you say or how you say it, because I know you, and I know what your, I'm assuming I know what your heart is, but someone else could have taken it a lot differently, and the conversation could have went left. But again, I don't feel like everything has to be fly off the handle, cancel them. No, I think some things can be a teachable moment.
This is, I don't know if somebody's going to jump in, but the part I wanted to jump in real quick is, I agree with you that, we should be able to talk and discuss things or whatever. But if everybody has the PC culture where you got to be politically correct, then everybody basically think we're on the same wave. So at the end of the day, if we're under the impression that we're under the same wave, how are we actually having a discussion? Because in everybody's eyes, everybody agree with everything. What's your take on it? You get what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So how can we actually have a conversation if everybody is supposed to agree with the same thing pretty much? And that's where I think it's stifling the conversation as far as like, trying to bring change and everything like that.
Absolutely. I definitely agree with you. I know another ongoing debate in my industry is when people make the comment they don't see color. And that's been a big debate. Like before, I mean, I don't know about you all, but I remember before when people used to say that it was acceptable. Like, yes, you're right. You know, we're all one. But now if you walk into a room and say, oh yeah, I don't see color, they're ready to execute you. It's like, no, yeah, because if you say that, you're diminishing that person's struggle as a Black person or as, you know, whatever they identify as.
Wow, I didn't know that.
Yeah,
Wow.
so now it's like, yeah, you can't say I don't see color. You can't say that anymore. That's going to be an HR moment.
Wow.
Or you're going to have to go to a diversity and inclusion workshop.
Wow. That's new to me. I had no idea. Well, thank you for that tidbit, because I had no idea.
That's crazy.
All right. Well, I guess do anybody got any other takes that they got to say on anything?
No.
It's a good discussion.
No?
Yeah,
It definitely is. I know, like I said, I know the stuff that we said, some people are going to take it out of context or whatever, but
listen, it's our opinion. It's you know, it's not a fact. It's opinion.
Yeah.
We're all just trying to grow, basically.
Exactly.
Yeah, and come to an understanding.
Yeah, and like I said, man, well, pretty much the people that subscribe to our channel, for the most part, they're open-minded people. So I love that.
Yeah.
That's one thing I love. You know, they're open-minded people. So it's good that you have people that follow your channel and everything, and they can have these discussions without having their panties in a bunch. Somebody
I don't know, man, because the other day.
Mad about me saying, what, panties in a bunch? What? Cancel him. So you never know. But yeah, this was definitely an interesting conversation, man. Strategic, thank you for definitely being on this collaboration. Thank you everybody for definitely thank you everybody for, you know, sitting with us. You know, we going on an hour and a half. Lady M, appreciate you being here. Tia, definitely appreciate you being here.
Thank you.
Yeah, man, we definitely gotta do this again sometime. Definitely gotta do this again.
For sure.
So
looking forward to it.
Yep. Definitely everybody hit that like button. Definitely subscribe. If you're new, subscribe to Strategic's channel. Subscribe to my channel, because this is being simultaneously streamed on my YouTube channel and Strategic's channel, and on Facebook too.
Yeah.
So definitely. So yeah, that's gonna do it for this live. And we will catch everybody on the next one. Peace.
What time is it? Better get up and grind. I woke up, stuck from a bad dream. I've been sweating like crazy. Got up, skin stuck to the bed sheets. Open window for a cold breeze. I have nothing to eat in my kitchen. Old coffee and yesterday's pizza. Listen, I promised to clean my floor, but I have no interest to fulfill my chores today. As long as the sun is shining and the weather is showing its face, just like me, it's been hiding. People painting the world with its rays. So I skip on my obligations, like so many times before. Reach for the door out to reclaim my faith in the making. God, I am here for the taking. Oh, it's a matter of opinion if I'm right, but I'm leaving off for now to go outside, putting chores and obligations on our pile. See them towering over me, know it too high.
Yo, I had it with this shit, yo, I gave it all I got, but it seems like it's not enough. Now I'm sitting there watching all these bills piling up, like, damn, I need a change for the better. Scratch that, I need a change for the cheddar. Gotta get up, 9 to 5, have a regular life, with the knowledge knowing that I'm not a regular guy. See, I'll be more than me's a regular. I like Optimus Prime with my spectacular mind, composing these delicate rhymes. But I'ma design a different future for me. I had a good run with it, but it just ain't what it used to be. And truthfully, I trust nobody in this industry. They only come around when they want something like a fucking leash. But I'm cool, mama didn't raise no fools, so I'ma do what I do and chunk up the dues. And I'll be back in the booth when the stars align. But meanwhile, it's
a matter of opinion if I'm right, but I'm leaving off for now to go outside, putting chores and obligations on It's a matter of opinion.